Sales is the most lucrative skill in the world, period. The problem is most sales advice out there today is outdated, cheesy, and could even keep you from the deals that can make all the difference in your career. This is the No BS Sales School, a podcast for entrepreneurs and salespeople who want to master the skill of selling without all the BS. I've had a really interesting experience in the last week or two, and maybe it'll go on for longer, being a prospect, being somebody who is actually in the market to buy something. I am in downtown Columbia, South Carolina right now, and I need to move to another office. This office, my lease ran out. They leased it to somebody else, so I got to move. And I think I'm looking for like a needle in a haystack. I need a single office, right, with a window. I'd like for it to be downtown, ideally on Main Street, right in the middle of everything. I would like to be around people that have some energy. That would be great for me, although I've found that being in an office by myself isn't as bad as I thought it would be. But I don't know where to look. And it's like a needle in a haystack because most of the time, I'm looking for like a tuck-in office, something that somebody's forgotten about, or somebody else that already has an office has an extra one, right? Probably not something that's going to be freestanding just for me. There just aren't those kind of spaces out there. Well, I've ended up talking to about 5 or 6 real estate guys. And understand I'm a tiny little squirrel for most of them. And I totally get it. I understand I have to do most of the legwork myself. But even if they were to find me a space and lease it to me, their commission would be like $200, which would really not be worth their time. So I realize I got to do most of this myself, and I'm fine with that. But I've had some very interesting conversations with people, and I just want to share with you. I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 reactions. And I'm curious what you think about these reactions. And I'm going to tell you how maybe they could have done it better. And so if you're one of those people I talk to and I'm using your story, I'm not going to use your name. But if you recognize yourself in this, I'm also going to offer you some free coaching. So how about that? Let's go. So first person I talked to a couple of weeks ago. Hey, man, looking for some office space, looking for something kind of hard to find. Do you have anything? His response, man, it's kind of a small deal. I really can't waste my time on that. But why don't you call this landlord? He may have something for you. Okay, let's stop for a second. That's great. I appreciate the handoff. That is freaking awesome. It's exactly what I'm looking for. I know this is not going to be some great deal, right? I know you make maybe $200. It doesn't make any sense. However, ban the words "my time" from your vocabulary. Don't say, "I don't want to waste my time." Here's what I want you to say instead. I don't want to waste your time. I don't spend a lot of time in that marketplace, and I'd be afraid that I don't know any more than you. Can I make a suggestion? Here's some names of people that may have some stuff. You can call them directly. It means exactly the same damn thing, but you don't sound like a jackass when you say it. Instead of saying, "I don't waste my time," blah, blah, blah. How about say, "I don't want to waste your time because I really don't have an inventory of that kind of stuff." It means the same damn thing. You just don't sound like a jackass. Number one. That was number one. Number 2, I get a phone call. "Hey, man, I've got something you're going to love. This is going to be perfect for you." And then they began to describe this office space that they have for lease. It's got 4 offices. It's about 1,600 square feet. It's got a great location. It is blah, 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 blah. And I said, hold on a minute. I said, "How many offices?" He said, 4. I said, "Okay. And how many square feet?" He said, "About 1,600. And I said, "Bo, I'm looking for 1 office, maybe about 200, maybe 300 square feet." He goes, "Oh, okay. I guess I should have asked." Yeah, you should have asked, right? So let's back up for a second. If you're selling something, I would tell you, you're really going to screw things up if you say, "I have something perfect. You're going to love this," or something along those lines. Understand, don't tell me what's perfect. Don't tell me what I'm going to love, right? Because immediately when a salesperson tells me that, even if I know this is no big deal, then they don't give a shit. If you tell me I'm going to love something, I'm probably going to go, "I don't know, man. You better be something good here." Or you tell me something's perfect for me, I'm going to doubt that it's perfect before you even show it. You got to really prove that. So instead, now ideally, right? You ask, hey, what are you looking for? What would that look like? What have you looked at before? What kind of price range in? Sure, we could go there. But if we don't go there, let's just pretend somebody said, ask instead, or says, man, I got an office space. I heard you were looking. I don't know if you're going to like it or not, but I figured it was worth a phone call. Hope I'm not wasting your time. And then shared what the thing was. I said, man, I would have said, man, I really appreciate your call. You're right. I don't think that that's going to be the right thing, but I can't thank you enough for thinking of me. Right? Would have been so much better than, man, if I got something perfect for you, you're going to love it. Number 3, I picked up the phone and called somebody. And I said, hey, I'm looking for an office space downtown. I'm currently paying X. And I'm looking for an office with a window that I can see outside and a door that I can close, maybe something bigger than a 10 by 12, slightly bigger. I'm paying about $1,100 a square foot. Excuse me, seems like a square foot. $1,100 a month right now, and would like to kind of stay in that range. Do y'all have anything? Oh yeah, come look. So I come over there, and they said, you want some of the window, huh? And I said, yep. So the Chevy sponsors the windows. I said, that's great. I said, this looks really nice. How much is it? Well, it's $1,700 a month. Okay. Does that include parking? No, parking is another $150 a month. So $1,850 a month. Yes. All right. Well, sorry, that's more I want to spend. I wish that if I had called and they'd said, Mr. McKay, $1,100 a month, it's going to be hard for us to match that, especially something with a window. Don't want to waste your time. We're probably talking a range of, maybe minimum $1,500 up to $2,000 a month. Any reason you want to come over here and look? We'd love to have you, but I just want you to know that we're kind of pretty high in the price range. You know what? I would appreciate that. I wouldn't have had to go downtown. I wouldn't have had to drive downtown, find parking, pay, go upstairs, look at the office space, which is beautiful. I'm not spending twice as much. Well, 80% more money than I'm spending right now. I get it. They got a product to sell. So I told her before I left, said, that's a lot more money I want to spend. I appreciate that. And she goes, it is expensive. I said, yes, it is. And she said, I'm going to see if I can get the owners to discount it for you. I said, that would be great. And so I moved on. So she's going to call me. Here's the problem. Here's what she might have said instead. Mr. McKay, I'm happy to show you office space. We are going to be way above that $1,100 budget. Don't want to waste your time. Does it make sense for you to come look? I might have said, well, how much over? I might have said, well, probably $500, $600 a month. I would say, well, let me come look, is probably what I would have said. And then I might have said, I'd have gone and looked, and let's pretend I said, God, I really love this place, but I just don't think I could pay that much. Suppose she's asked the question instead. Mr. McKay, what would the rent need to look like for you to be able to even consider this place? And maybe I would have said, something closer to $1,100. And then she says, well, how about this? If I can get the owners to give some kind of price concession, would we even be in the ballpark? And I might have said, sure, that'd be great, right? And maybe she could have said, it might only be a couple $100 a month. And I might have said, well, that's probably not enough, but you might as well try, right? Ask, right? Don't frickin' tell me, ask. Here's the last one. Fascinating. Guy says, I call him and I asked him about a specific building. He said, we don't have any space there. He said, but I got another building you ought to go look at. It's over on so-and-so street. And he says, it's in kind of a transitioning neighborhood. It's in a transitioning neighborhood. So, there's a store around the corner that a lot of homeless people go and buy wine and probably go buy drugs and stuff, but they're going to tear that place down. The neighborhood's definitely getting better. That was his freaking lead off. That was how he led me off. And I thought, that doesn't sound very enticing, right? I know it's way cheaper than what I'm paying now, but imagine if instead he had said, let's go look at the building. Here's what it is. Let's go look at this thing, right? And then maybe if I said, I want it, then he could have said, man, I'm happy to do that. Happy to get the lease together. Now, you understand this neighborhood is transitioning, right? So that what's here now may not be here a year from now. Things are just going to be getting better. Completely different conversation, because now I don't want to go look. I'm not going to go look at the damn office space, right? I don't want to be in a place where winos and drug addicts are freaking walking through the yard. And maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it never happens. But that's the seed he planted in my mind before I decided I like the office space, right? Or I didn't like the office space. Now I can't even consider it. Hold that stuff off. Don't ever lie, but that's not what you lead with. And if I come across more stories, being the prospect, I'll be happy to share. Don't make those mistakes. If you're afraid you are making those mistakes and you want to fix it, call me. 803-917-2817. Look forward to talking to you. Thanks. Thanks for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast. If you're struggling to close deals, then I want to invite you to take my free mini course, where you'll learn the 7 most expensive sales mistakes that will cost you time, money, and credibility. So be sure to click the link in the show notes or go to www.7salesmistakes.com. That's the number 7salesmistakes.com. Thanks again for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast.